Today, we're basically giving our planet a full-blown health checkup. And our medical chart? It's the landmark 2019 Global Assessment Report from a group with a very long name, the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, or much easier, IPBS. This is a supercritical look at the state of our world's life support systems.
Now, look, this isn't just another dusty report filled with charts and graphs. We're talking about the most comprehensive study of its kind, ever. It was put together by hundreds of experts, digging through over 15,000 different sources. And the message they came back with? It's a pretty stark warning about the health of our planet.
And this right here, this quote, really gets to the heart of why we're digging into all this. See, this report isn't just about science, it's about responsibility. It's asking a really fundamental question. What do we owe the generations that come after us?
Okay, so before we jump into the diagnosis, let's get to know the patient a little better. What does nature actually do for us, and why is its health so tied up with our own? The key word here is irreplaceable. I mean, really let that sink in. This isn't about luxuries or nice-to-haves. We're talking about the fundamental operating system for human society itself. The sheer range of what nature does for us is, well, it's just staggering. You've got the obvious stuff, right? Food, water, clean air. But then there are all these invisible systems working behind the scenes 24/7. Things like regulating our climate, pollinating our crops, even shaping who we are as people, our cultures. Okay, get ready for this number. 4 billion. That's more than half the people on this planet, and they all rely primarily on natural medicines for their healthcare. So no, this is not some niche environmental issue. This is a global health reality, plain and simple. And this is such a perfect example of that direct link between a healthy planet and our daily lives. Think about that coffee you might have had this morning. Yep, you can thank a pollinator for that. All the incredible fruits and vegetables you see at the market, most of them just wouldn't be there without these little guys. All right, so we've established just how vital the patient's health is to us. Now, we have to look at the tough part of the checkup, the symptoms. And folks, the report lays out some really, really alarming vital signs. First up, 75%. 3/4 of all land on Earth has been significantly changed by what we do. Next, 85%. That's how much of the world's wetlands we've lost. Think of them as the planet's kidneys, and they're just vanishing.
And another one, 50%. Since the 1870s, about half of all live coral cover is gone, and that loss is speeding up.
You know, it's not just about the physical space we're changing. It's about the life that used to be in those spaces. The world isn't just getting built over, it's becoming emptier. And then we get to what is probably the report's most sobering, most shocking headline. An estimated 1 million animal and plant species are now threatened with extinction, many of them within just a few decades. That number is it's completely unprecedented in all of human history. So when you see symptoms this severe, you have to ask, what's the diagnosis? What's the root cause? Well, the report points to a really dangerous imbalance in how we've been living with nature. It all comes down to a series of trade-offs we've been making for a long, long time. So the whole diagnosis really hinges on understanding two different things nature gives us. On one hand, you have what the report calls material contributions. That's pretty simple. It's the actual stuff we take, right? Food, wood, fuel. But on the other hand, you have regulating contributions. These are the crucial processes nature handles for us, like cleaning our water or keeping the climate stable. And this right here, this shows the trade-off in really stark terms. For decades, we've gone all in on getting more material stuff. We've managed to triple our crop production, which sounds great, but we've done it at the cost of the very soil health needed to grow it. We've ramped up timber harvesting, but we're losing the pollinators that our farms absolutely depend on. You see the problem? It's kind of like we've been liquidating our natural assets to pay the bills. The report found that, yeah, we've successfully boosted the production of food and other materials, but in the process, 14 out of the 18 total benefits we get from nature, mostly those critical regulating ones, are now in decline. That is just not a sustainable way to run a planet. Okay, so this brings us to the final and maybe most important part of this health check, the prognosis. Given this diagnosis of a dangerously imbalanced planet, what does it all actually mean for us, for our future? Well, what's at stake is basically everything, the very foundation of our well-being.
By letting those regulating services get weaker and weaker, we're putting our food security at risk. We're weakening our own ability to handle climate change. And we're losing our natural protection from disasters.
And if you want to put a price tag on it, just look at the pollinators. Losing them puts up to $577 billion in global crops at risk every single year. So no, this isn't some abstract environmental problem. This is a massive, direct economic threat. But it goes even deeper than that. As we lose all this genetic diversity in our crops and animals, we're basically weakening our ability to adapt to anything. It's like we're erasing the very biological toolkit we're going to need to face future problems, like new pests or diseases or a climate that just keeps changing.
Now, look, the whole point of a report like this isn't to make us all feel hopeless. It's meant to be a baseline. Think of it as a really clear, honest map that shows us exactly where we are right now, so we can finally figure out how to chart a better course forward.
And this quote, it just nails the core message perfectly. We usually think of infrastructure as, roads, bridges, power grids, but this report makes it crystal clear that healthy biodiversity, that is our most essential infrastructure. It's the foundation that holds literally everything else up. So when you boil it all down, this report is the most detailed planetary health check we've ever had. And the results are in. The vital signs are failing. The diagnosis is a dangerous imbalance. And the prognosis is serious. So the question it leaves for every single one of us is probably the most important question of our time. What does this diagnosis really mean for the future we choose to build from here?